Button. Okay, welcome everybody to Sekhmet. I mean, we are all brothers and sisters of Sekhmet. And yeah, are you a devotee of Sekhmet? But I also put a post out recently and it's like, are you ready to die? And I nearly came on and said, are you ready to die? But I suppose we're doing that anyway, aren't we? We're just like, something that we're doing very, very well at the moment is dying. But I have to say, thank you so much to all of you that hear that call because this this shift, for want of a better word, this transition, it's really taking us to the depths of self. And, for one, never anticipated that it was going to be this intense. It is very much different to what we experienced last year. We have been on this dark night of the soul, whatever you want to call it, for a very long time, have we not? And we've been walking this process in our own way. And it really got ramped up last year because last year was the year of transformation. So of course, Sekhmet really gave those that weren't aware of her a big nudge. I know she pushed me onto the next level. And that was the inner transformation, which I actually thought was the hardest part. But it's actually not now because now we need to experience the death of the old world as you knew it, the good stuff and the bad, right? And it's very, very intense. And there's a lot of us that have experienced grief as in like the real terms. I know I have in my familiars. I've lost three animals in the space of 24 hours. Kids left home. It's been brutal. And I know others have had worse than that, where actual dear loved ones, like humans, have passed on. And you know what? Whether that's happened or not, we're going through a death. You're being pushed to change jobs, let go of old lives. Hey, Josh, let go of old lives. Old lives and everything like that. Everything's got to go. And I knew that we were going to have to let go of the good stuff and the good stuff and the bad stuff. But like, I just wanted to open the circle with that because that's an acknowledgement for us that we've walked to this place. However, this is where it gets good because through this walk, which has all been very lonely, has it not? I was having a conversation with Ellie earlier. Actually, I've got two Ellies here, actually. There's like two of you. But Ellie in Newcastle, we were talking about this, that we have been, not fitting in the world. And my goodness, if we tried to fit in, it's like, and me as well. I've been a spiritual teacher for a long time in these realms, and New Age spirituality is crashing. Thank the Lord. And what is happening that's coming out there is a true sense of authenticity. And we're coming out the other side and we're not following the masses anymore because it's kind of like that time is gone. So that's why Sekhmet is so strong right now, because she's now calling each and every one of you and me to stand in the truth and the power with your relationship that you have with her, right? Now, a little bit of a backstory because we are going to go into a meditation straight away and everything like that, just to give you an idea of my walk with her. I mean, I've spoken about it a lot. I went to Egypt, didn't even know who Sekhmet was. She started talking to me. I was like, I ran a mile. I was like, lady, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. And I really tried to escape her for many, many years, actually. And, you can run, but you can't hide. We all know that when Sekhmet calls and we ignore it, it's like, how's that working for you? You know what I mean? So eventually I kind of like really, really heard the call, started to do the groups in Egypt. And little by little, I kind of went through my process when I was holding these groups in Egypt. So let it be known that even though you see like somebody that's like holding the space and taking people on the groups, I go through more dark times than the actual group itself. You don't, you don't escape it. You go through your own version. So even though we're stood at the front and we're teaching the crowds in Egypt and we're like, look at this temple. Meanwhile, in the hotel room, you are losing your mind and you're going through your stuff. And Sekhmet's like, face this and face that. And you got to put a smile on it and you got to hold that space, right? But isn't that quite reflective of what we're doing right now in our lives, whether you're doing trips in Egypt or not? You got to smile and wave and you got to hold it down, right? So now, okay, I went through a huge death. This year is I should have been doing two tours to Egypt and it all just fell apart. And I was heartbroken because that was supposed to be the tour for Sekhmet. We were doing a Sekhmet pilgrimage. And I went through the whole humanness of I'd let her down because I mean, through my health, through my business partner's health, it was just the right thing to step away. And thank goodness I did, because we're all going through this change and transformation. And she now, this is where we were going to like, explode it. We're going to do it this year. And then Sekhmet was like, no, 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 I was never meant to do it this year. It was going to be next year, and for good reason. And this is what these temple gatherings are going to be about. And it's a preparation for those that will be, you don't, we can tap into timelines and different dimensions. You don't have to go to Egypt, but those that are called, she's calling you back to her temple, and the actual Egypt groups now will be in honor of the goddess, and they will be specifically encoded for her. I have walked my walk with that very, very powerful goddess. She's brought me to my knees. I've died 1,000 times. I've given my offerings and my devotion, and I kind of feel like I've completed. And now I wish to kind of like open that space to others as well, to kind of like, I mean, I know a lot of you have got your own thing going on with her as well, which is amazing. But it's like my job, she called me a bus driver. I have to get the people to the,
Should I do this out here or somewhere else?
sorry guys, can you just mute yourself? That's okay. I've done it. It's fine. So she calls me the bus driver. So I get you to the temple on time. So when you get to the temple, it's between you and her. That's it, and that's the difference between the old spirituality, the new age spirituality, and now. And you're all teachers. I know everybody that I connect with, because I connect with the teachers, the way showers, the front line, and we all have the capacity to basically go into that next realm now. And that's our job. And that's why I've called this group, Are You a Devotee, or Are You a Priest or Priestess of Sekhmet? Because that's a very, very big role to take on. So in a way, this is a little bit of initiation, this gathering. And if you're here, or you're listening to the recording, you are ready, okay? But the thing is, I'm here to kick you off the hamster wheel of healing. Because what can happen is we can sign off, go on another workshop, and we can go and do this again, and we can go and do that again. There is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be having a massive awakening and taking your own tribe to Egypt. There is no reason why you shouldn't be stood there and kind of holding counsel to help others deepen their connection with Sekhmet. But to do that, she came through very clear. We have to get off the floor of her temple. We're all wrapped around her ankles trying to heal. And those times are done now. Those times are done. We have to now stand up and stand next to her, because let's face it, let's have a Me Too group here where like we've all gone through our shit like big time, hey? Otherwise we wouldn't be here on this group, right? So when do you call it? When do you take your pain and turn it into presence? When do you get your ass off that seat because you kept it warm for the next person who's broken in pieces? You can't sit there and hog the space. And you know what? You're always going to find shadow. You're always going to find things to heal. You're always going to find something else to look at and go, oh, that's cool, which is why I'm promoting. Do not do anything that does not, like, don't engage with anything unless it sends you back here, right? And that's what we're going to be doing today. And this is Sekhmet 2 months ago, before I went traveling. She was like, this is what's happening and where these groups are going to lead to. And why I'm getting a bit rah-rah, or rather she is through me, is because we got work to do, right? And instead of like me sitting here and sharing my pearls of wisdom and all of my stories and saying fuck a lot, which I do, it's okay, I'm allowed. She said it's all right. So like, yeah, exactly. Just being me. Basically, it's now time for us to combine ourselves together and work together as a collective. And what I'm talking about is, and this is going to be something that comes down the line. This is the entry of this, right? Okay. I have some stories to tell you, okay? And basically what the issue is there's blockages all over the portals, even in Egypt. Like, they are sentient beings just like us, and they are wanting to upgrade. But the issue is we've got a battle on our hands. We're at war, have you not known? Between the head and the heart. And guess what? Out there, shit's popping off, right? Now, another reason why I stepped back from Egypt for a while is because I felt that there was too much interference from turning these very, very sacred places into monetary gain from the country that they're in, right? Avalon is going to be turned into a World Health site, or whatever, or not World Health, sorry, a world, I can't remember the word of it now, but they're basically turning it into, like they did with Machu Picchu. So they're turning these places into real touristy places. So which means more tourism is going to come. You're going to have Costa coffees everywhere and Starbucks. And basically that's a gameplay from the governments, because they're trying to cash in on the sites. And it's a wonderful thing that Egypt is developing at a rate of knots. It really, really is. But the people are getting poorer. Isn't that just the world story, right? So how do we keep these places sacred? How do we help the land and the portals. This is what being a priest or a priestess of Sekhmet is all about. We're upholders of Ma'at. And together, when we bring our lion hearts together, we do what's right, we do what's true, and we do it together because that's when we're most powerful. So this is why I'm speaking about at some point you have to call your pain. At some point you have to say, do you know what? Have I earned my stripes? You have. You have, and you have to believe in yourself to now step up to that next level and get out the classroom and step on the podium, right? And whatever that means to you, right? And I'm talking inner authority. Now, that might not be necessarily what I'm doing. I'm going to refer to Ellie, who's in Liverpool. You're a beautiful artist, and she expresses herself in that way. But there's other ways she's doing it, stepping out into other realms now, like sound healing and everything like that. But it's coming from this place of presence and power where you can ignite the same want of connection with the person who's sitting in front of you. They're like, I want to connect with my lion heart. I want to do that, So in your presence, how you choose to share your energy in the world, this is about you pitching up now. And the world is changing. And I would really prefer it if we were in a circle all chatting together rather than it always being the Marie show. And it's like, I know it's really scary when we're on these group calls and everything like that, oh my God, what if she asked me to speak or something like that? Maybe I will. Maybe that's what we need to overcome, finding our voice, right? And not being scared to share. Trust me, when I first started sharing videos and I'm just staring at a dot here, it was the most scariest thing I've ever done. Now I'm sat here. I mean, I would do live streams and I'd be sweating. But you know what? The reason I did it was not because the focus wasn't about followers and all that kind of thing. It was to overcome my fear of speaking. Believe it or not, I was scared about speaking. But this voice has got a vibration and it inspires people and makes people laugh and we joke. And then all of a sudden we're in community. My journey on YouTube has been about 8 to 10 years, and I only started a YouTube channel because my website designer said, just put your video that's on the website on YouTube for storage space. And I remember I checked, I got 77 subscribers and that's where it all started from. So obviously Spirit was just like, yeah, you're doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it's the question I'm asking you now is where or how can you step in and do something different? I'm not talking about making a YouTube channel or anything like that. It's like, how can you move from the feet of the goddess because you're broken and you're bruised? How can you stand up next to her? What would be your first step in doing that? How can you shift your position so you are able to now shine and emanate your light even further, right? Because what we're going to be doing in the future is we're going to be working as a group and we're going to go into meditation and we're going to go into channel and we're going to go to the places that need us most, because right now we need to be in service. And even though I say we're at war, we kind of are. But the thing is, we've won the war already. What we're doing here essentially is basically clearing it up. You know what I mean? We're helping everything along. We've already shifted into the new timeline. We won that a long time ago, but now we need to keep the momentum moving and we need to keep it going. So I'm really calling us up to get more proactive with our Sekhmet frequency, so this is what this class is all about. Now, I know many of you are very, very advanced when it comes to kind of like energy work and everything like that. So I do not wish to teach grandmother to suck eggs here at all, but there's going to be some basic stuff and there's going to be some some advanced stuff. But either way, this classroom is the entry point to us kind of really coming together as a lion pride, and being willing to kind of work together and really taking on a different role to what we've done before. And that comes from belief in self, right? So if we're all ready to do that, give me a thumbs up. Because I know some of you are scared to speak, so I didn't want to say, right, you can say yes, you can say yes.
Thumbs up, I'm here.
Yes, Michelle is here. Woo!
How are you?
I love it. Now the dream team is ready
Yes,
to
from me too.
say again. That's a big yes from you.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. That was the right answer, by the way, So now I just want to share something with you, which I get quite childlike about, but she's with me now. And there's a good reason because she was the one that kicked off this idea. Now, when I was in Avalon, just recently, I was with my sister, okay, my oldest sister. And I went to Avalon to die, which, by the way, wasn't pleasant at all. Do you know what I mean? I'm constantly dying. I'm really good at that. I'm actually a master at dying now. So I went there, snot and tears, very intense trip to Avalon. It is known as the Isle of the Dead. And in all the snot tears, my sister decided to visit me from the UK. And she said, I thought it was your 50th this month. And I was like, no, I'm 49, but thanks for willing me old, but that's okay. So she said, well, I need to give you a birthday present because I feel that you need it now instead of next year. So she gives me this. I don't know whether you can see it, but this here, okay?
Yes, Sekhmet.
This Sekhmet is 3,500 years old or 3,200 years old. And it's authenticated and everything. It's not jade. It's got, it's a very light, it's the ancient stuff that they used to use. And it's the stuff they used to use for their makeup that they painted it with. And some of it is worn off. So she gave me this and I held it in my hand when I went through my death process in Avalon. And from this, she's opened a doorway, which is not for us to live in the ancient. It's to weave from the ancient to now, because we are the future from then, you know? And I do believe with the Sekhmet teachings, look, we all started with the ancient teachings, but we are the galactic star beings of Sekhmet. That's the difference. Taking everything to its origin source codes is extremely important. And that's what Sekhmet says, that if you go to the top of the stream, that's when it's more crystalline. Okay. And then you can decide where you settle into the earth plane, because we must remember that when we connect with Sekhmet on the earth plane and she was at that level, that's a lower vibration of her, and there are some things we need to know about her by connecting with her there. So this is why she was showing me, you know, it's basically going into the past and kind of remembering who I was when I had this 3,200 years ago. And it's incredible because it's this ancient one that is that's kind of stimulated the change of my teaching to say, right, less teaching, more community now, and more working together, right? Because you need to know yourselves, right? I need to know myself, you know? And it's like, that's where we're at right now. So we're going through this incredible death. And on the other side, this is why you came. Because call it a preparation, if you will. Whether you like it or not, whether you think you're a teacher, whether you think you're imposter syndrome, you are. And whether somebody comes to you often with coffee and just says, I got a problem, whether it's as basic as that, or whether you have people that actually come to you and say, listen, I need to do sessions with you, or whatever it might be, people take counsel with you one way or another. And they just come and find you. And all of those things tell you that you hold this vibration of Sekhmet. They're seeking something. So it's our duty and our responsibility to guide them with that. And it's not necessarily that you're going to start banging on about teaching like Sekhmet full on. It's your presence. It's the presence and it's the prowess. It's the energy. So just being in a strong energy and frequency and accepting that part of self is going to be what people seek out in you. And then if they want to literally find out about Sekhmet, become the teacher, become the priestess. We are all Order of Melchizedek as well. And as that order, they never, ever, ever impressed a faith on someone else. They tapped into what they were strong in their heart, and we made them stronger in their belief because we could. So we hold that light, we hold that space, and we strengthen the hearts of others without impressing our opinions. You know what I mean? And that's true space holding. And unfortunately, the world of spiritual has become a whole world of opinions and wanting to one up, you know, and it's a sad thing. But it's true. And we need to now be like, if that world's crumbling, well, what are we doing here? We're the lighthouses. We've got to stand strong because there's going to be many coming, you know? So without further ado, we're going to go into a bit of a meditation. Okay, so get yourselves comfortable and let's ground down into the frequency, into the energy, into our beings. Okay. Right. So closing your eyes now, taking a nice, a big deep breath. Inhale. And a big sigh out, like, oh, because it's been a day and the energy is very high at the moment. So breathing in again, inhale. And breathing out. And then one more deep breath like that. Inhale. And breathe out. And then as you allow your breath to arrive and take you straight into your heart space. We're going to come into our physical bodies now because the energy has been very high in the last 24 hours. So we've been experiencing a lot of upgrades, a lot of light coming in, headaches, tiredness in the body. Some of us are already sick. So yeah, we're going to take some breaths into the physical body. And as we exhale this time, we send our cord and our energy from our heart all the way down into the earth. And allow that cord to burrow itself right into the magnetic crystal at the center of the earth. And your cord knows the way as it follows the vibration. And as soon as that cord connects with the magnetic core crystal of the earth, there is like a clicking in. And you feel like all of your energy field kind of like zoom down into that magnetic, powerful core. And then you breathe a little bit more and you let all of your cells and everything just feel anchored. Feeling everything become a little bit heavy in your body now. And just allowing yourself to be drawn into the earth. And now taking your focus back up your cord into your heart. And you take an inhale now. And as you exhale, you take the energy up through your cord now, up through all the higher chakras, through your third eye, your crown, all the way into the millions of stars and the cosmos. It's like rippling everywhere. So your cord is split and it's just touching and connecting and all sorts of things are happening, electricity and dancing and high vibes. And then you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you draw the cosmos energy all the way back down that channel, down the cord, and you feed it all the way into the heart. And then as you inhale, you run all the energy all the way up to the top into the cosmos. And exhale, draw it all the way back down into your heart once more. And then one more like that, because I like the cosmos. Inhale all the way up to the top, connect with the stars. Exhale, drawing, gently floating down like a feather. And then connecting into your heart once more. And I invite you now to take a breath in for inhale and exhale for nothing. Inhale and exhale here. Now on the inhale, draw from the magnetic core crystal and the cosmos at the same time. Inhale, meet in the heart. Hold the breath. And exhale, send it all the way up to the stars, into the earth, same time. Inhale, stars, crystal, into the heart. Hold. And exhale, cosmos, crystal. And then one more, breathing in from the cosmos, in from your core crystal, holding in the heart, and you're going to let it out in a massive heart breath, 360 degrees all the way across the world. Inhale, exhale, go. Sending it all the way out. And another breath like that, actually. Inhale as above, so below. Hold in the heart, 360 degrees. Let out your heart breath. One more like that, as above, so below. Inhale. And your biggest one so far. And then coming back into your space here. And just feeling the peacefulness, the still. Knowing that this place is always available to you. It just gets a little distorted with everything that's going on right now. But you are here. You are present. And we are together. So when you are ready, you can open your eyes. So we should all feel a little bit more here now. So I'm going to move into the class itself now. And I've spoken about grief, sadness, loss, and death. And this is Sekhmet. This is Sekhmet because she is about transformation. And she is the one that has really taken us to our depths. And Hecate. In fact, I would say I did a class prior to this before, and we had Hecate and we had Sekhmet, and these two goddesses are working very powerfully with each other right now because you have Sekhmet who's clearing the way, the destroyer, and Hecate who is waiting for you when you are ready to go to that absolute depth of self, which is the darkest, perceived as the most scariest. But then Sekhmet comes in again and she holds your hand because she says, no, no, dear, courage comes from fear. It's transformed. And she helps you with that. And that is why we are so adept at what we do, because we take what is so fearful and we transmute it through our beings and we turn it into courage. And that is just alchemy, man. And that's Sekhmet. So that is what we're doing here. So another thing, I've said it time and time again before in other videos, we do not worship Sekhmet. We don't worship any of them, because if we worship them, it's the biggest way to keep separate, right? And that might sound a bit crazy, going, well, who do I give my offerings to? Oh, we give our offerings always to the mothers, and the fathers. We mustn't forget Thoth, Anubis, Merlin, all of those, because I know that we're all connected to those as well. But we go and we give our offerings in a heart breath. That's what I do. If I don't have anything to offer, I always bring that in and I give a heart breath to the trees or whatever I've got to do. Just acknowledgement and going, wow, how pretty is that? That's an offering. But what can sometimes happen is when you clutter your space with too many altars, too many prayers, too much paraphernalia. She says, look at my office, full of it. Full of it. This is my journey, though. This is my journey. I actually looked around my house the other day and I was like, you've actually got too much stuff. There's not an awful lot of room for me to live in this house anymore. But, it's like, it's a human aspect and we just laugh at that. But you know what I'm saying? When you start to get caught too much up in, and this is why it's really, really important that you come into self. I did something, I'm sharing a lot about coming into your inner voice. And that's what we're going to be sharing with others as teachers, if you're not doing it already, that we can get lost by listening to other people's opinions. It's one thing to actually have your connection here and then go and back it up with research and go, well, that's interesting. But when you're not willing to go here and you're stepping away from here and you're taking opinion first, and then maybe I'll listen to my voice. That can't happen anymore. You're just going to spin out of control. And there are so many opinions out there on social media. People have got to pay bills. And I am now promoting heavily, listen to none of it, right? Listen to your own voice. You cannot have a relationship with the divine unless you are prepared to have a relationship with yourself. And if you don't know who you are and you are not prepared to sit with yourself and channel right, and sometimes it's despondent. Sekhmet always tells me perseverance. Goddess Isis is the goddess of perseverance. Commit, commit, commit. We have to commit, and it takes discipline. Some people may argue with me and say discipline is the wrong word, but I believe discipline is key, because if we are not disciplined, we get lost out there. We have to for a certain time, and then it just becomes muscle memory. So worshiping Sekhmet, she does not want. She says, embody me. I am an aspect. So to bring that forward, right? And once we complete on such things, then we can share our wisdom with others, because wisdom can only be wisdom when one has applied an experience and let it run through their system, come out the other end, and you have something to share. That's wisdom, right? But picking from textbooks and going, yeah, well, this is that, the other. And there's a lot of teachers doing that. I mean, I love all of the AI. I really, really do. But there's a lot of AI where people are actually like doing channels from Sekhmet and all the goddesses and deities. And you can tell that they are reading from a chat GPT script. And there's now apps and things like that, which actually move your eyes. So if I'm reading something here, you look there. So you wouldn't know that they're reading, but you can tell. So here we are being very, very sort of like honest and just like going, oh, let me follow this. And little do you know that you're drinking from a dirty stream. So what is the answer to that? The answer to that is like, come here first. Come in with your inner voice, your own channel. What do you say? What do you think about that? And then once you've got a strong sense of self, then you can actually call bullshit or not. And it's not about judgment. I'm not talking about judgment. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm talking about illusion and destroying the illusion. We are followers of Sekhmet. That's what we're here to do, right? We have to be able to have that power of discernment to know the difference. But if you do not know your own channel, if you do not know your own voice, and if you do not know your own unique connection with Sekhmet or any other deity, in you, then you're going to you're going to just keep spinning out of control. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Okay, we're going to be doing a few tasks today, and I know a lot of you are channels already, so this is going to be like, I don't know, like maybe like kindergarten, but there's nothing wrong with going back to the beginning, going back to the basics. But we're here together as a group, so it may come out a little bit different, right? So now, remembering your role, helping others deepen their faith. I've already spoken about that. Leading by example. You're going to find, I know I love to talk. I do. I actually listened to one of my own voice notes the other day. I'm sorry, whoever I sent that to, but I'm like, I talk a lot. Do you know what I mean? But I'm finding myself wanting to say less. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? Where presence takes over and this speaks less. I don't know whether I'll ever reach that point, but we understand that that's kind of like where we're at now. Less need to talk, less need to speak. You go and sit with a friend. Sometimes you just stare and look at the pretty lake in front of you, and there's just a little less chatter, right? So that's what I'm talking about, leading by example. But I think that only comes when you really deepen your confidence with yourself, and you're very used to your stillness and your own quietness, and you're okay with who you are. You're gonna be more confident to say less, because you know you're enough. Let's face it, that's what we're on this journey for. It's like, I'm enough. You know, you don't have to fill the spaces with anything, because you're enough. And if you want to chat, like, happy days, but that inner core, you are enough, right? So this is another thing as well. There is a lot out there, whereas a lot of people use a deity's name in vain, especially Sekhmet, and you cannot bypass the shadow. You cannot. And I'm sharing this because this is what we'll probably share with a lot of people that come to us, because their heart's in the right place, obviously, but they want to speak their power without doing the work. And that is what's happening in the downfall of the new age spirituality. And this is what's actually going on. There's a lot of teachers, space holders, and that don't want to go and do their shadow. And now they have to face it. And they to be truthful, they should take some time off and address their shadow. But I do understand it, because shadow's not easy. Shadow's painful. It hurts a lot. And, otherwise everybody would be doing it. So there's absolutely no judgment or no shade, but it's like loads of people doing 5 ayahuascas, and you're coming out with, like, apparently you were Jesus. And it's like, is that what you got? Do you know what I mean? It's like you bypassed, you know what I mean? It's like you were supposed to go into the deepest, darkest depths of yourself and face that and integrate it. Because the reason we don't is because it's hard. It's hard, but again, I bring this back to our role. This is where we sit with them and we say, it's okay. It's all right. I did it. I came out the other side. I know what you're going through, but this is how you walk the path. Have you tried X, Y, and Z? And that's how we hold the space with Sekhmet. We lead them to Sekhmet, right? That's what we do, right? So this is the thing, all shadow. Then once you've transmuted the shadow, that grants you your authority. I mean, I'm sure all of us here have, Michelle and I, we've been talking, many of you I've been having chats with. I know that if somebody rocked up in your space tomorrow and just said, right, I need your help, you would know exactly what to do energetically, and you know how to hold space, right? So that's your authority. So that's why you have to get up from Sekhmet's feet and stand next to her, because the authority's there now. You know what I mean? It's time. You're ready, and there may be many that come to you who think they're still broken too. So that's where the discernment comes in, where you're like, no, you can stand up here. You're ready to lead others. And then others that aren't, it's just like, no, there's a bit more shadow to be done there. Do you know what I mean? So this is our role. So we're going to go in now, and we're going to actually, going to go meet Sekhmet, even though she's already with us. And we're going to connect with the Ankh. Now, Debbie, you're going to like this. Where is she? Yeah, there she's there. Debbie, you're going to like this, because we're going to be working with the Ankh technology. Now, some of us have worked with it because I've brought it in, and some of us haven't. So basically, just to show you, okay, thank goodness we've got an abundance of Ankhs in the office. Right. So this is the masculine. Okay, this is what locks your energy down. This is the Gospel of Marie. Take it or leave it, right? This is what locks you down. When you turn it that way, it becomes divine feminine, because that's the womb, right? So there's a multitude of ways. Let me tell you, sit with this Ankh, play with this symbol in your meditations, and you will start to unlock some crazy mad technology that you have inside of you. And I believe a lot of it comes from Sekhmet, a lot of it, right? So with this meditation, and I'm going to ask you, you can take a note of this. There, have I uploaded it? Do you know what? Leave it with me. I may not have uploaded it, but it's called the Ankh technology, and it's a real basic meditation that I recorded to give this to you in your body. We're going to do it now as well. But how we're going to work with this now with Sekhmet in the meditation, you're going to see that this is the gift of creation, right? So she's obviously the creator and the destroyer, right? So that's the womb because it's creation. Makes sense, right? And then when she anchors down like that, imagine Moses' staff, like boof in the ground, through the ley lines, fire. Like, you know what I mean? In fact, I've been waiting to use my stick. Do you know I've been waiting for this moment all my life? Humor me. So this is made of my oak tree that fell down, and this is a snake, right? And it's made out of oak wood. How beautiful is that? So you're literally going to get your staff, which is your ankh, looks like an ankh, and you're going to go boof into the ground, okay? And you're going to awaken those dragon lines and ley lines through your Sekhmet fire. And I'm in menopause, I'm sweating, but it's Sekhmet, promise you, okay? Right. I told you we're going to get practical. Right. So, gosh, I'm moving around a lot today. Right, I think maybe we should do some stretching and some limbering up before this one. So that's what we're going to be doing by bringing her in to meet her, but we're also going to like work with the ankh a little bit as well. So does anybody have any questions? Is everybody okay? Yes? Okay, right. Let's do it.
Sorry, I'm just a little sick,
And yeah, no, it's
but
okay.
I'm here.
No, it's okay. 100%, Michelle. We got this. We got this. Hey, we got this. So, right. So we're going to get ourselves comfortable once more. So we're going to get a little bit more proactive now. So closing your eyes, grab whatever you need to grab, because I know everybody's got more stuff than I've got, just FYI. So taking a nice big deep breath. Inhale all the way to the top and exhale. We're just going to let that settle there. We're just going to let that energy just settle there. And as you breathe in and you breathe out, you feel yourself entering into your heart space. And as you breathe into your heart portal with your beautiful divine breath, it's always a sign for spirit to open up that beautiful, beautiful lotus flower in your heart. And as you breathe that breath into that place, each petal unfurls one by one by one. Just gently breathing into this place now, into this lotus flower. And it is a beautiful color of pinks and blues and golds and hues. And the lotus flower is very, very much about heart. And you have a beautiful one in the center of your chest. Now, as you breathe into that lotus flower, you feel yourself entering into your own inner cosmos. This is your inner world. And make no mistake that inner world makes it small. It's not. It's massive. It's expansive. And your lion fur tingles a little because you can feel the frequency all around you. In fact, you feel very much now the fire of Sekhmet as she moves through your body, awakening your cells, feeling the tickle of the whiskers on your cheeks, feeling the lion ears just pop up one by one, and feeling your own tail as it tickles your ankles. And there is a fierceness but gentle beauteousness about your energy. And this is the true you. This is in honesty, how you feel very comfortable with yourself. So when one is faced with adversity or one is needed in a crisis, whatever it may be, bringing yourself into your cat form does not harm anyone, only enhances your presence on the earth plane. To visualize yourself as Sekhmet herself, for you are she is you. And as you transform into this beautiful cat being, you start to travel and you start to journey now. And you land in a land far away. But this land is familiar. In fact, you kind of knew where you were already going. And you look down at your beautiful feet that is walking along white sand. And as your senses come around, you can smell the arid heat of the desert. The heat, the bellowing sun of Ra above you, even your own sun disk above your head. Heat does not bother you. In fact, it's extremely comforting. And you love the heat and the energies and the solar and the rays. So as you walk along the desert, there's nothing around you, but you know where you're going. You know exactly where you're going. And as you walk up a little bit of a rise, suddenly you kind of step over the mound and you look down, and there she is. Mother Sekhmet, in all of her glory. Much bigger version of you, though. Much bigger. And that you just love about her. And as you look down in what's this like kind of like a sand arena, she is surrounded by these massive fire pits all around her. And she's standing in the center. And she's got these flowing clothes on, like reds, like ruby reds and golds. And even though she is her lion self, she's got beautiful bracelets around her arm. Even her ears, it's just slightly different. It's got little piercings in there. She's actually looking very beautiful and very feminine as you stand on the ridge and just admire her beauty. And then she lets out an almighty roar that reverberates around the whole desert. Even the sun explodes slightly and you feel a surge of heat within your body and all around. And she looks at you and she calls you forth now. So you do not deny, Sekhmet. You walk forward, down the slope, down the sand. And you stand outside of the circle, because this is a sacred circle, and it has crystals and plants and offerings, which is making a big circle around her. And you do not just walk in, you wait to be invited, because you are very well aware that this is a sacred space she's invited you to. So as you look intensely into her eyes, waiting for her to say, you can come. There it is. And you walk in, your heart is pounding in your chest. You're excited, you're anticipating. You also feel you belong there. There's an entitlement in a very healthy way, because why? You've earned your stripes. Sekhmet doesn't invite just anyone into her circle, and not in a setting like this at all. And you take a notice of what you're wearing, and you do say, well, actually, I am actually quite dressed up for like a very initiative ceremonial event. So yeah, this makes absolute sense to me. I belong here. And you stride into the circle. And as you do so, suddenly there is a surge of power. It feels like confidence in your heart, in your chest. It's a real welcoming feeling, because for such a long time, to get to this point in your lives, fear has plagued you for so long. But you have overcome it with every cycle that has been thrown at you. And this is why you're here. She calls you up now to stand next to her. And in her hands, she's holding one ankh, golden ankh. And in the other hand, she's holding another golden ankh. And she passes one of them to you. And you stand for a moment, standing before her, and she starts to purr. And there is this beautiful activation that happens with her ankh and yours. And you found yourself that you're actually clutching it to your chest. So the circular part of the ankh is actually sitting on your heart center. And you did this without even thinking. So as she purrs, you are like, wow, this is loud, because you can feel this all the way through your body. You feel it tingling through your toes. And what she's doing is she's activating your chakras, your cells, every sense of being within you through that ankh that you hold. And then suddenly she lets out a loud roar. And there is now a very much a life-size ankh, to the point where it's actually touching the ground. and she is holding it at the neck. And now you're doing the same. So your anchor's grown, both of you. And she now looks you deep in the eye and she speaks. She says, initiate no longer. Embodied you are. Daughter, son of Sekhmet. You came when I called. You healed, you faced your shadow. But those times have now come to pass. And now here we stand before one another. You are grown in many aspects. You have grown. And I can feel your strength. I can feel your power. And this is why you stand before me. This is why you stand in this sacred circle in the desert below Ra. And as you look up, very aware that Ra, your father, is right above you. And as she speaks those words, it's like there is a electrical pulses that are coming from the sun. So there's things going on here. And you're still clutching hold of your life-size ankh. She now turns her ankh. And she basically holds it in the upside down position. So there, she says, this ankh represents creation. And then she says, you will hold your ankh in the correct position, which is upright. And you hold the masculine position. She said, masculine has destroyed for too long. Masculine has had its time to walk. And it is now time that we heal the perception, the relation to the divine masculine. And that, dear heart, is the ankh that you hold. That is where you died. In that world is where you faced your shadow. And you will face it no more. And as she holds her ankh now, she starts to chant and bring light language through. And you are bearing witness to this golden ankh just activating. And she's sending codes down through the circular part. That's the womb. She's sending codes and energy, and it's building up inside of that ankh. And she keeps chanting and chanting and chanting. And then all of a sudden, there is a voice that comes out of you. And you join her with this chanting. And it is melodic. It's harmonious. There is so much going on, but you don't care to even think about it. You are just in that moment. You are working with Sekhmet. You are supporting her and activating the divine feminine position of the ankh. The womb energy is building. The energy codes of creation are building. And suddenly this ankh is a glow of so much golden energy. She's built it up in that ankh. So now she says to you, look at your ankh now, and it is not as glowing as hers. And she said, it is now time for you to activate that ankh. For in one moment or two, you will bring the codes from spirit, from Ra, all the way down into the earth, all the way through the ley lines. You are going to be clearing all of the shadow destruction in all the ley lines, the dragon lines, anything that is basically stood in the way here. And you will do this now. And you start to chant. You start to activate this divine masculine ankh. You can feel this ankh getting heavier and almost like too powerful to hold. But you're like, no, I've got this. I've got this. And you keep chanting because you are in your power. You are in your presence. And suddenly you let out a roar. It is now time. You lift this heavy ankh all the way into the air and you slam it down into the ground. And as you do so, there's like an earthquake that overcomes the area, the whole world. And you open your eyes and there are shots of gold like shooting out in all directions, even to the cosmos, and everything's shaking and it's all very chaotic. And as it all starts to like rumble and move, that is when Sekhmet brings the power of creation and she releases the energy of her ankh, the divine feminine, and it comes and meets the power of that divine masculine ankh. And you watch the lines merge and move as they go all the way through the ley lines and the dragon lines together. And they have come and they've been born from Sekhmet's ankh and yours. They weave and they're dancing, and you can just feel the energy of this merger of the divine masculine and feminine. You can feel all distortion over the earth and in the grid start to disintegrate and redesign itself. And you can feel the power and the force and the velocity of the divine feminine because she's fierce. Let's not get it twisted. She is fierce and she is powerful, but she is also mother and divine. And there is a softness that comes with the energy that goes all over Gaia. Sekhmet is still standing there with her, let's call it the mother Ankh. You are still standing there with the father Ankh. And now you face each other. Her Ankh is upside down. Yours is the upright. And now you push both Ankhs together. And as they touch, there is a cataclysmic explosion of golden light. And then suddenly your eyes are just blinded by this. So you close your eyes to hide them. And then as you look up, Sekhmet is holding the most beautiful blue, royal blue Andara. It's an Andara crystal of ancient Atlantis. And it is now reduced in size and expanded in crystalline power. And as a result of merging the divine masculine and feminine together, working with Sekhmet, clearing the distortion, bringing the divine masculine into balance, soothing it with mother's love, the absolute creation of that is this beauteous, deep royal blue Andara. She says it's deeply significant of this timeline, the new age of Atlantis, if you will, the new age of Aquarius. And this lives within you. And as she says that, she shoves this Ankh right into your energy field, into your body, into your being. There is a jolt. Your physical body takes the blast, but there is an embodiment. And she literally reaches it into your body because you're ready. And then suddenly that Ankh becomes you. And you are the divine balance of this beautiful royal blue Andara, embodiment of the ancient Atlantis codes, the good stuff, bringing it into this new age of Atlantis, pure balanced and true. And as you look at Sekhmet, you have blue flames in your eyes. Your energy field is twinkling. And there is a confidence inside of you and around you that you've never had before. It's like it's okay to be you. And you were always meant to be you. And here you stand next to Mother Sekhmet, having done some very powerful energy work. This is just the beginning. Oh, sweetheart, this is just the beginning. Take some nice deep breaths and receive all that is being given. Allow this timeline dimension to just drift into the ethers just a little. For we will continue to work and we will continue on this path. So when you are ready, coming back to this space, coming back to my voice, we will continue. It was a bit full on, wasn't it? Okay, that's meditation number 1. So let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I'm hot. I'm hot. Very hot in this session. So she's very ancient, but it's very modern. So we are the weavers. We will constantly be bringing ancient wisdom to modern day living, constantly. So we met her as an ancient, but in a way we worked with the the modern day, the crystalline, the galactic, and you will find your place with her, which is basically the next place I want to go now. So how to strengthen your connection with her. I've spoken about having too much clutter. Don't get tripped up by too many spells. We have to give space for your inner being to come through with the wisdom that it has. And just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that you're wrong. You've got to go the other way. I've never ever done what everybody else has done. In fact, at school as a kid, I think, I mean, how many of us, I don't know, there's probably a few of us that got expelled here. I don't know. I used to go in the front gate and out the back. School wasn't for me. I told my mom that, and she'd take me back to the morning in the morning, and I'd go out the back door again. That's what I did, you know? So it's like we have to be the ones that do everything differently anyway. So if there is a collective doing something, then actually purposely go, well, I'm going to do something opposite, because it's going to stimulate the unique codes that you have with mother to come out, right? So be the rebel. I know you all are. I guess that's why we're all here. Be the rebel. Okay. So now connect with her at the origin. We've spoken about that. How many of you have a star connection with her? You will find, not uncommon, that when you connect with Sekhmet, this is just my connection though. It's like I say, none of this is the gospel of Marie, but it might not be your gospel, but I'm just sharing with the group that when I connected with her over the years, I'm like, oh, she's here. And then I found out that I went to Sirius, and then she was Lyra, and then we were here, and then we're there. And I went all the way to Andromeda with her. And then by working with her, I've not really shared this too much. I have a white lion, big sister of Sekhmet, who I unlocked by going all the way up to the stars. And she's called Shakirat. Not Shakira, hips don't lie, Shakirat, okay? Yeah. And she is a white lion, but she's not a white lion from Sirius. I don't know, she's Andromeda. And she's like this more... She's just a more grounded kind of, I don't know, she seems older than Sekhmet, as in kind of like big sister, you know? And I discovered her through play. So what I'm saying is when you start to come away from the earth plane of Sekhmet and you start to go through the layers, let me tell you, you're going to unlock all sorts. So just because Shakirat isn't in the textbook, does it mean that she's not real? Do you know what I mean? Does it mean that she's like doesn't exist? No, she does. She helps me with everything, you know? And so it's really like encouraging you to just go into that. And, you know, we always get like caught up with our channeling going, did I imagine that? Well, imagination is channeling. That's exactly what it is. That's why children do it, because they're just in their imagination all the time, right? And then we get kind of older and then we start to block that off. So just let your imagination run wild and allow those beings, because they're aspects of you. So Shakirat, essentially, I've unlocked another aspect of me. That's the big sister of Sekhmet. And maybe that is quite symbolic. The more I follow that, is that's maybe an aspect that needs to show me that I should trust my wisdom as an elder. Right. So maybe when I do that, maybe Shakirat will disappear. I don't know. But you get the gist of how I'm sharing as to how it can go. So don't doubt yourself, you know, because what happens is you go, oh, I'm not doing that. Let me just go and listen to somebody's meditation. No, sit with yourself, you know, sit with yourself. So connect with her at the origin. Okay. So do not worship in body. I've spoken about that. And just to back this up as well, the Kemetic tree of life is very similar to the Kabbalah tree of life, right? Now, the reason the Kemetic tree of life existed is because, as we all know, Egyptian teachings is so complex. I get lost because one God will merge into another. And, you know, my wealth of knowledge to do with Egypt is pretty extensive. However, when they start to merge with each other, it gets very complicated. And then Egyptians used to bin a lot of goddesses and go, no, we don't like her anymore. Let's bring in another one. So it does get very, very complex. But if you really want to kind of deep dive into what I call like the bones of Egypt to help you in a more progressive ascension way, I would really suggest that you look at the Kemetic tree of life. Now, the way it goes, I can't remember exactly who's who in the zoo or where it is, but there is a line. So you've got the Kemetic tree of life, and then halfway there's a line. That line and down is where Isis, Osiris, Set, and Nephthys are, because they were the first gods and goddesses incarnate that were actually physically born, right? Anything above the line was Nut and Geb, which were their parents, and then we get higher and higher and higher. So, but it starts with Ra, supreme God, you know? So we start with Ra, but we can't just wake up tomorrow and go, yeah, you need to know God. Okay, great, fine, thanks, done. It's not like that. We have to go through the process as a human to actually unlock those aspects in us. So that is why the temples in Egypt were exactly like they were. They started They started at the bottom, Abu symbol. You had to have your priestesshood or your priesthood there. Study everything that you needed to study until you were initiated. You completed, you went on to the next temple and the next one until you got to the Great Pyramid, which is where that test and initiation is. Can you leave your body? Jumping out of your body, letting all your vitals slow down. Technically, you have to die. You go out the top of the pyramid and then you come back in again and you restart your body. That's one of the initiations that Yeshua actually did. So there is all of these like very, very structural ways of embodying ascension, right? And that's what Yeshua did. And he did it with obviously lots of other studies and things like that as well. But when you go through the deities, you obviously see Ra at the top, and then you'll see the other gods and goddesses. And then bit by bit, that's your upper chakras, right? You know what I mean? And then bit by bit, you'll come into your lower chakras. And that's when you start to embody Isis, Nephthys, and all of the things. Because basically, we can't just wake up and, like I say, know God. But if bit by bit, they gave you a piece of Ra, he's like, a piece of Ra is Hathor. Piece of Ra is Sekhmet. And then a piece of another piece of you is Set, because we have to, everybody's like, oh, Set's a baddie. But you know what? You've got to own that part. I love working with Set. Set is shadow, and he will show you a trickster in someone else as well as what's going on inside of you. You know, so don't hate on the baddies. The baddies are the ones that are actually the most fun, even though it can be quite intense. But if you go through the Kemetic tree of life, you will then work, it's very structured. And remember, every single temple in Egypt, some know this, some people don't, it's all designed on the human body, right? So the actual temples that run up the Nile are all the structure of the spine. So thinking about that, that's how we rise. Okay. And then we get to Ra. So that's actually quite interesting to look at the Kemetic tree of life to actually support you in your understandings of ascension, really, you know? So have a look at that. Okay. So now offerings, devotion, that is the best way to really, really connect with any god and goddess, right? And, you know, and it takes a while to get into the habit of that, you know, and, you know, you can do offerings as in drumming. You can do offerings as in like Sekhmet absolutely loves cedar. Okay. Cedar, dragon's blood. She loves frankincense. She loves, you know, for us women, you can put your moon blood on there. She loves that. Beer. Sekhmet likes a good old drink, because remember, Hathor is the goddess of drunkenness. And when Hathor got really angry, that's how Sekhmet was born, through her anger. And the only way they could calm Sekhmet down is by giving her beer disguised as blood. So quite an interesting story. So she likes beer. So you can put all of that on there. So however you want to go with it. But again, just go with what feels good. All right. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to do some channel writing. Okay. Now, I know a lot of us are channels and everything like that, but in light of really bringing this together now, remember, this is about, are you a devotee of Sekhmet, right? So some of us have been teachers for a while and we've been doing this work for a long time. Some of us have never taught, but we just know that we have this strong connection to Sekhmet. Remember what I said at the beginning of the class? What would be your next logical step to changing the trajectory, changing what you have done? That's what this life is all about now. This absolute moment, this death, you cannot carry on with the old way. Now, I need to read something out for you. I just remembered now. I wrote this down. Okay, so listen to this. Very important. You discover a new land, but you behave the same way as you did before, and then it becomes just like the land you left behind. I'm going to say that again. You discover a new land, but you behave the same ways as you did before, and then it becomes just like the land you left behind. So that is why this is so hard, because we have to make physical changes in our life that we don't really want to, because it's hard. I might have to move out of this house soon because I don't have any children here. You know, I can't do my work. I'm not even showing up the way I was. You know, I haven't done Egypt this year. I will do next year. And Sekhmet's saying, right, you're going to do a Sekhmet pilgrimage. I wasn't doing that before. If I'm going out now and doing the same as I did before, oh, beautiful cat. Sorry, I just saw that straight away. Yeah, I love it. But like, you know, if I am beautiful, proper witch, Hecate's cat. We have a Hecate's cat here. I love it. So, like, if I'm doing everything that I did before the same, I'm going to recreate that land. You don't want to do it. And guess what? It will happen. It will happen. Don't think that, oh, spirit will take care of it. No, this is the ultimate sacrifice, and transformation takes sacrifice. So what are you going to sacrifice to change? Like, how can you become, how can you step it up, basically, right? So with that being said, we're going to go into a meditation, and I'm going to take you into a meditation, but I'm going to leave you in some silence for some minutes. And I don't want you to panic, because I know a lot of you channel, so you're going to get this done, no problem, which is great because you'll get a message. And some of you are going to be watching this for the first time or here and going, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. Don't be surprised if nothing comes, but you might get a whisker, or you might get like a paw that, like, open the door to her. Let her come in, right? And you know what? In true form, we're doing a Sekhmet class. You might open the door and Toth might walk in. It's happened before where he's like, oh, door's open, pushes Sekhmet out of the way and he's in. Do you know what I mean? So just allow what needs to come forward for you, because that will still be Sekhmet. She'll be saying, hey, you need to be working with Toth right now. And she'll be the one that's actually opening the door for him. So expect the unexpected, come out of the head, come into the heart. The way we channel, right? Okay. I always meditate, and then I channel, and then I go into my journal in the mornings. That's where all my channels come from. You write, you know how it goes. You write, question, how am I going to show up in the future? What do I need to know so I can change my life, whatever it might be, whatever your question needs to be, and then just let your pen go. Okay. And some of you, if you feel called to share it, by all means you can, and you just put your hand up and let me know, or sacred is secret. Okay, that's also fine. I've been using those words a lot. All right. So we're going to go into another meditation now, but we're going to get proactive, and I'm just going to chuck it in the circle again. In light of the fact that I said with these groups, we're now going to be just starting to do world work together. We're now going to be combining our energies to do very, very powerful work together to clear the distortion and restore truth and order and balance. How is she calling you up to do this? Don't think about the big things. It may be just what you do tomorrow. Maybe it is a big thing. Let's see. Let's open the space with her and see where she goes. In fact, I'm even going to do this, actually. So closing your eyes and taking a nice big deep breath, and just let anything excess go. And well, the mother's not left us. She's all around us. And as we just lower ourselves into this quiet space once more, placing our hands on our heart and just gently finding that lotus flower and feeling that deep, deep connection with Mother. But feeling that deep, deep connection with our own sacred feline self, the one that stands with authority, the sacred sovereignty that we hold, the courageous one, the one that has smelt and sought out shadow and never turned away, transmuted it into its highest vibration. And this is what we do. This is what you are. You are a devotee of Sekhmet. She walks with you, and you walk with she. So now you find yourself now walking to her chambers. You have beautiful, long, flowing clothing on, like linens. And once again, in these times, you can always connect with your ancient being because you smell that anointing oil, blue lotus perhaps, frankincense or myrrh in the oil, or rose even. Rose just came in. And as you walk slowly now, for you are a scribe as well. When I brought Toth into the circle, his energy is very much here now, actually. And he reminds us that we are scribes. We're very expressive when it comes to the sacred word. And he walks with us too. And as you walk down this long path, right up in front of you, there is an altar, a very big granite stone altar. And on this altar, there are offerings of fruit, breads, mead. And here you are holding in your hands beautiful flowers, And these are an offering for Sekhmet. And you, with deepest respect and reverence, you approach the altar. And you place these offerings down onto the altar. You bow your head and you whisper under your breath, "For you, Mother, for you." Now you walk around the altar, and one of the priests, one of the Sekhmet priests, is standing at the door holding a torch. He knows you and he nods and he smiles. He's acknowledging you, and he pushes the door open. And as you walk into this sacred chamber, it is lit with fire torches everywhere. And there is a huge statue. She is sitting in her throne. She's massive, and she's made of this beautiful, beautiful stone. It's got glimmers of crystal in it. But she is there and she towers above you. And on the other side, there is a place to sit. And there is some sacred paper laid there. And there is a quill, something for you to write with. Others have come and written their hieroglyphs, and here you be, sitting with Mother, in honor of her. But before you place yourself at the sacred scribe's table, you step in front of her. And literally your nose comes up to her knees. That's how big this statue is. And you place your hands on her knees like a little toddler. And you rest your forehead on her knees. And you say, "Mother Sekhmet, Mother Divine, bring me purpose to my mind." And as you find yourself sitting at her feet, you feel the energy of her change. And as you look up, she has these beautiful glistening eyes as looking down at you. She has become alive. She's no longer a statue. She is there in full life mode. And she lets a little growl out because you are her cub. And then she motions you over to the table. And she says, "Ask your question, sweet one. Ask your question." So you go and settle yourself at the table with this beautiful papyrus that you can write on, a beautiful quill. And you sit there and you take a few moments and you breathe her energy into your heart. You lay rest to the mind. You call in the energy of the stars above, the cosmos. You call in the energy of Sekhmet, who sits with you in this powerful, powerful temple. You call in your ancient being who has been here millennia times. And you ask your question now. Expand your energy field and receive your answer now. Allow your quill to just slide over the paper. What does she speak to you? Keep breathing into the heart. Oh, well, I had a great time. I was like, why is everybody looking at me? Like, oh my God, I had the best time ever. Seriously, guys, party for one. And you know, well, you know what? Do you know what? That was hysterical. Do you know what I was actually channeling? This is so funny. I was channeling. I've got it written here. Oh, I'm going to keep this in the video. I don't think I'm going to edit this out. I was channeling the disintegration of physical separation. So I think I did it. I think I did it. I don't need anyone. I'm just going to do my own thing. That's so funny. Anyway, and you know what was quite interesting about that? I was like, the energy should be a bit higher. And I was thinking, why isn't it as high as it usually is? Because nobody could hear me. That's why. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so how long was I out for? How long was I talking for? 5 minutes? All right. Well, you just had some time on your own there to just like, focus on what you were writing, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? Okay, we're going to do that as a closing meditation then. I'm going to do it again. Okay. So that's so funny. I think that's actually quite a powerful message because, like I say, it was all about disintegrating the physical separation and bringing more people to the group. And isn't that funny? It was actually about bringing us all together and actually really not just doing this on Zoom or anything like that. So the actual tone of the medicine was about not like, about the physical separation. And here we are, no one can hear me. So it was exactly that played out. Yeah, I was doing it. So clearly that's kind of blown my mind a little bit because clearly you had to hold that space, which was the other side of it. And I was bringing in the connection. So, don't know, I'm going to ponder on that. But that's hysterical. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to just share a little story with you before we go into that meditation. I remember once in COVID when we were all like, doing these groups and everything like that. And I went to go and click something to actually mute myself, but I ended up cutting the whole call off. But I'd sent everybody into meditation. I said, go and lie down, take your time, get comfortable. So nobody was on the screen, no one whatsoever. So I just basically went to click mute and I ended the call. So of course everybody was lying there waiting for me to speak for ages. So I couldn't phone anyone. I couldn't get a hold of anyone. I was like, oh dear, rookie move. So yeah, just reminded me of that. Clearly they needed quiet time. So before we go into that final meditation, which was actually kind of cool, does anybody want to share anything? Does anybody have anything they want to bring to the space? You don't have to, but I will be in future ramping it up. Anybody want to share? Okay, Josh, go. Okay, can you unmute? I can't hear you now. Can you?
Can
There you
everybody hear
go.
me?
It's a thing.
I sort of got the same message more or less. So when I was in the meditation, Sekhmet said to me, "Beloved flame of my heart, you have walked far and you have learned much beneath my gaze, but the path ahead still calls your feet. Listen now, not only to me, but to the whispers of those who came before you, who blend and burned and bloomed along the same sacred road." Whew. Too much
Wow.
energy. Know this, my path is not one of ease, but it is one of awakening. It demands strength, it demands your truth, and you will break upon the illusion of illusion. My fire, yes, my fire, always burns within you. You are no longer wandering in the dark. Your way is lit, the way is open, and it is time. You will come to me, not in doubt, but in knowing. You will stand in my temple, and when you do, you will be there waiting, not as a distant goddess, but as the mother of flame, watching her cup rise in power. Phew.
Oh gosh. That I can feel the heat off that. I can feel the
Yeah,
heat off that. Thank you for sharing that, Josh. That's like microphone drop. Thank you. Thank you. So Ellie from Liverpool, did you want to share? Or were you putting your hand up to share? No. Okay. All right. She's gone, oh my God. Who else would like to share? Anybody else? You don't have to, because I
Yeah,
know it's very
I
personal.
would love to share.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Right in time, you came to me. Right in time, you answered my call. You are no more alone. You are no more in pain. Your power will rise with every rising sun. The dawn of your true life is beginning now. Free your mind from all you know. Stay in your golden heart permanently. You will know exactly what to do, when, and why. You are healed, and your pure energy is sealed. You have always been, your path has always been, is, and will be unique. You are here to be one of the one. You are here to make the impossible possible. You are here to shine. You are my daughter, and I love you. Just let me get you to your own throne.
Goosebumps. Yes.
Thank you.
Take your own throne. Thank you. That's take your own throne. And I love that. Just listen here. And just to dovetail off that, exactly as your channel speaks, we all have a unique relationship with Sekhmet. So we cannot compare to the next one. When it comes to, that she's the goddess of purpose, that's not textbook, that's Gospel of Marie. But that's what she was saying. She says, I've got a unique connection with each and every one of you, and we've got a job to do uniquely. That's why it's so important to, exactly as you said, like explore that and sit on your throne. So thank you for that. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share? Debbie, I know you want to. Yeah, Debbie, okay. And then Laurie, we'll go to you next. Okay, we'll go to you next. Okay.
I don't know. So I asked about the mudras.
Yes.
And I heard you're harnessing the frequency of the stars. Allow it without fear. Remember and practice. You are safe.
Yes. Yes, exactly. You had a very powerful session yesterday, and it's like, and this is what I was saying, the first thing we want to do is go and research it, and it's like, just feel it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
explore. I think we forget to play with it,
Yeah.
and because we doubt ourselves so much, just play with it. I love that, Debbie. I love that. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So, Laurie, what would you like to share?
Hi.
Hi.
What I got was don't fear. I won't let you fall. I won't let you fail. You do my bidding. I have given you power. Use it. Don't be afraid to roar, to be seen, to be heard, to make a splash. The world needs what I have given you, which is a voice. Write, speak, share. Some of you just being here in this time and in this place, your mere presence alone is working alchemy on the world. You are my vanguard. You make me happy as your hearts follow mine.
Oh, do you know what? I love when you said, I've given you a voice. Like, yes. Oh, goosebumps. Like, oh, I'm loving this. We're getting like super emotional. It's just like, I'm loving this. This is just, this is just a beautiful cauldron of Sekhmet, isn't it? There's a bit of Caradon in there as well. But like,
even as I was reading it, I was trying really hard not to cry.
right. That's when you know it's legit, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's when you know it's legit. Do you know, like I've had the same journey with channel writing as well. I've done trance channeling and all this kind of stuff. And I think we make it way too hard. We overthink it. It's actually really easy, because when I did it, like a teacher of mine said, well, just take your pen to paper and write. And I was like, And I did it. And then all of a sudden my channel opened. And I was like, but that's really easy though. She was like, yeah, that's the point. It's really easy. And not to doubt your message, like you say, Laurie. It's like, you think, oh, is this really me? No, just open your heart and just let it flow. And the more that you let your pen go, sometimes I can write half a page, sometimes even a page. And I know it's kind of like me talking. And then all of a sudden, woof, I'm off and I can't keep up with my writing. Sometimes it's one sentence and it's just straight away. Have your journals out all the time, because now we're opening this because I want to do this often. You'll be making a cup of tea and you'll be like, it's now, shit, it's now. And and that's what's happening with me with poetry. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a little bit like having spiritual diarrhea, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've got to go now. And like, it's like, and when it comes, because if you say, oh, I'll do it later, I'm telling you now, the moment will go, right? You know what I mean? We're like, oh, what was that thing? And when you read it back, you'll be like, who wrote that? I didn't write that. And it's like, that's why now I have to write me after every channel. Because if I don't, because I write down other people's notes and things like that, I can't differentiate between the two. So, it's like, and that's a good thing because, we doubt our channel and everything like that. And that's the voice of mother, that's the voice of mother. And then you'll start to realize you've been speaking it all along anyway, right? That's the cosmic joke, isn't it? That you've been doing it all along, So, yeah. So anybody else? Ellie from Newcastle, I can see you've got your pad there. Do you want to share? No, you're okay. Right, that's fine. Talk about putting on the spot. I told you I was gonna, but that's absolutely fine. You can tell me on the quiet, Anybody else who wants to share? No? We're good? Okay. Shall we finally now do my meditation that I just enjoyed so much on my own? That's made me laugh so much. That if you could sit where I was sitting and I looked up and you're all staring at me, I was like, it's a bit weird. And I forgot that I muted myself. Never happens usually because I'm always talking. So now, just to give you the idea. So basically, we've covered a lot in this session. And now I want to combine our energies, as in like to feel what this group feels like, like collectively. Because, we do meditations together and it's always a very personal experience of just like, well, this is what I got through with my message and da da da. Now we're going to work together. And this is a kind of a bit of a remake. I was working with an absolute divine soul. She'll probably be watching this. And we did a channel together. And I'm kind of like remaking this because it was very, very powerful. And basically, I didn't realize until after the time in this channel, a group of souls were in Egypt. And basically between me and her, we were at ancient selves. We basically activated this group and I was like, wow, that was a revisit from ancient times. And then we realized that it was actually, we'd activated the next level of souls to have the courage to come through and join us. So essentially, two things going on in this meditation, right? Three things, actually. You're going to feel our power working together. Okay. We're going to work with the heart breath to combine our energies, right? So we're going to get practical now. You're going to see what it's like to work in a group. Okay. The second thing is basically activation of those that need to come forth now. Okay, it's just to help other people activate because we're in service, remember? So there's another small pool of souls that are waiting to come forth, right? Can't remember what the third thing was. Anyway, but you get the gist. All right. So now we're and we're basically disintegrating the walls of separation physically because I've made so many beautiful connections with all of you. In fact, I'm loving my YouTube right now because everybody is just divine, awesome, and amazing. And it's just like, yeah, honestly, I've met all of you. Like, honestly, I actually don't have many friends. I have one friend here in Cape Town, and then all of you guys are my friends. And I'm like, I wish we could just live down the road from each other. Why? I mean, like, Kieran, you're in bloody the outback in Australia. I mean, for God's sake, man, when did we write this out and said, well, we're going to put you over there and we're going to put Marie in Africa? Do you know what I mean? So the plan is to eventually have us be able to kind of hang out with each other in physical form. Michelle, you're in New York and I know we're all spread over. You know what I mean? So let's go into that meditation and let's do some work for humanity. How many cats have you got? I just she just keeps picking up another cat. I love that. You must have an abundance of cats, eh? Must.
This is miracle.
Miracle. Oh, divine. Oh, well, miracle's in our meditation then. She's beautiful. Okay, guys, I'm just checking I'm off mute. Final meditation, the big boom clack, as I call it. Okay, so now closing our eyes, coming into a nice big deep breath. Inhale. And just settling into your space now. And just taking some breaths to settle in. And now visualize yourself standing in a desert. It is nighttime. You look up at the stars and they are so clear and they are twinkling, winking at you. And you have such a deep connection with the cosmos, and you also have such a deep connection with the earth. You stand here as someone who is very wise and adept, and you know you are because you can tell by the clothing that you wear. And you are basically wearing your initiation clothing, so you know that you are on the way to an important date. And as you look up beyond, you see this massive temple, huge Egyptian temple. It's just in the distance there, and you take a moment to see how beautiful it actually is, because it's all lit with fire lanterns all around it. And the hieroglyphs, the big hieroglyphs on the outer walls, they show the story of Isis. You can see Sekhmet on there. And it's just got these beautiful flickers of light and shadow that really illuminate this temple. And of course, it's a temple, so it's already got this magnificent magic about it anyway. So you find yourself walking now barefoot, one step at a time, not rushing, taking your time. For each step you take, you are coming more and more into that deep, sacred space, because you know that you are about to do some work. And you know that you are going to join your family in doing so. And as you walk closely to this temple, you start to see that it's not just made out of stone. Oh no, it has a lot of crystalline frequency around it as well. And as you stand before the door, it is not a door, like a wooden door. It is actually like a force field of energy. You place your hand up to this force field, and it recognizes your frequency, your hand chakras, and it automatically opens. And as you walk into this huge place, there is an abundance of friends. And as you walk in, they're all dressed the same. And all of these people you are looking at is everyone that is here and others. And you have this vibration going on inside of you, because as you look around, you can see frequency in the air. From where you just stepped out from and to what you just stepped into, the energy inside of this temple is very multidimensional. And you know why? It's because this is your mystery school. And one can only enter the mystery school if they are indeed hold the gift of spirit, the psychic, the channeling, the seers. You have very powerful gifts. That is how you entered this temple. In fact, others may not see this temple because they don't have that gift of sight, but here you are. And you're surrounded by all of these beings, many women, many, many men. And you are really excited to be here. And there is a hush that comes over the crowd as one of the elders steps out now. Long white hair, very unusual to be seen in an Egyptian temple, but a staff which is encrusted with crystals. And this beautiful elder has got this long white hair, she is joined by a he. And these are your teachers. And they call you now. And they say, dear hearts, it is time now for us to get to work, to step into practice now of bringing all of your gifts into play now. For we are going to bring through the energy of community, the energy of heart. Separation is no longer a thing. So as they say this, they turn on their heels and they lead you. You follow, they lead you into a place. And it is all hush and dark in here. And there is a few people sitting on the floor, quite a few. I would say there's probably about 40 or 50 people, all sat cross-legged, all facing the Sphinx. And you are in awe of this majestic stone being. They are not quite between the paws of the Sphinx. They sit just in front. It is where the elders stand at the absolute top of the portal there. They stand between the paws of the Sphinx. And all of these beings are sat cross-legged, initiates as well, and they are in their white clothing. And you are told that you are working multidimensionally. These beings are, yes, in this timeline, but they exist in other timelines all at the same time. And even though you are working here, you are very much connected to your earthly timeline in 2025. So this is very confusing for the mind to connect inward, but this is your inner superpowers. You know how to be in many places at the same time. But this is where the depth of knowledge and wisdom lies, within the pores of the Sphinx. This is where the halls of Amenti are. This is where the Akashic records are. And this is why this ceremony is taking place here. So you are now called to surround these beings that sit on the floor. You are their elders, if you will, only for the fact that you have passed many initiations and you hold a certain level of wisdom. You were once they. So the elders, they stand with their staffs at the paws of the Sphinx. They call you to stand in union now with everybody that's in this room right now, plus others that are joining us, and you hold hands. And as you hold hands, you focus your heart energy on the beings that are sat cross-legged facing the Sphinx now. And as you stand, you start to acknowledge and conjure up the magic and the energy of the stars. The stars now twinkle a little bit brighter than they did before. You start to stamp your feet a little bit to ignite the feet chakras, to bring the earthly energy in. You know what to do. You have been through mystery school teachings and trainings. You are adepts. And now you bring in your heart breath. So you breathe in as above, so below, breathing from the stars, breathing from the earth. Inhale. And as you exhale, you send a breath out 360 degrees everywhere. You are giving a heart breath as an offering. And now the next breath you give, inhale, as above, so below. Breathing in, you send your heart breath to the beings that sit within your circle now. Breathe out, send them a heart breath. And now this next breath, like dominoes, as above, so below, you send the heart breath out and send it all the way around the circle. And when you have completed, do it again. As above, so below. Inhale. Exhale, you connect heart to heart. You actually see each other's hearts popping, coming online. And now you are connected and you can feel the power of the group. There is an energetic energy of fire that is ignited. And you start to feel yourself rocking from side to side. And now the beings that are sat cross-legged, they also start to shake just a little, for the Kundalini energy that you're bringing in is starting to rise. The elders, the mother and father, bang their staffs on the floor 3 times, for it is now time to bring in a frequency, which is a low, deep frequency, a hum, a And as you do this, you start to bring in sound frequency. You feel the third eye awaken again. Inhale, exhale. As you continue with this breath now, the energy starts to rise and you start to bear witness to those that are sat in the circle. They start to shake and they start to tremble. And then suddenly there is a light from the cosmos, because that's what you were conjuring. That's what you're building up. The energy and the light comes from the cosmos and it pours down onto every single being that you are holding space for now. And as they do so, this beautiful crystalline star energy comes all the way through the central power channel, through the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, a root chakra, all the way down into the earth. And you can see these streams of consciousness coming down into them. And as this happens, the energy now starts to rise. And you see the connection points of all of these beings start to shudder and shake. They are connecting through their hearts. And now we release hands. And now we raise our hands to the cosmos. And we start to draw down more energy through our palms. And as we do so, we then send it to the center of the circle. And we send our heart, our love, our energy, and then suddenly there is a surge of energy and it has brought all the people to their feet, and they too now are looking at you eye to eye, heart to heart, and you can feel the collective energy of your soul family from the mystery school. The elders watch on. There is so much light happening here. Allow this energy to just be enjoyed. And know that these souls that you have activated now are the ones that come forth now. So we send through the ethers, through the lines, the ley lines and the dragon lines, and we give a Batman sign out to the sky and we say, come join us, come walk with us, turn your fear into courage and meet us at the temple, meet us at the Sphinx, meet us where we're at. And we put those energies out there to give others courage to walk their path as well. And now one more surge of energy into the circle. And as we do that, all of us send it through the ley lines, disintegrating separation, like physical separation between one another. We are now calling out to spirit that communities will form and we will come together where we can flesh hug each other, hold each other's hands, share food with one another, and be together once more like we were in this timeline. Let it be so. So it is, so it is, and so it is. And with that, so it is. And with that, we're hugging everybody, especially the ones that we've activated. The elders are proud, and so are we. And now we all just stand in peaceful silence, hands on heart, a smile in our being, knowing that what we've just done here will be known second half of this year and beyond. And it is done. It is done. So breathing that energy in now and exhale, allowing it just to drift off into the ethers, but it's still there because it's a timeline. So allow it. You can go back there whenever you want, but now coming back into this present incarnation, 2025. Take a breath into your physical being here. Let us now send our energy into the Earth Star Chakra, which is your chakra just beneath your feet, into the earth. It's like it holds you down. Bringing in our energy fields just a little bit. A place that is comfortable for you to continue in your day or go into your evening. And then placing a golden cord of protection around your energy field, sealing it all in. And then we say, or then rather we say together that we are calling in now the absolute dissolution of separation, whether it is emotional, energy, and physical. No longer will we be lonely. No longer will we seek out there, for in our hearts we will find. And when we listen to our own inner being, he or she will guide us to each other once more. We're not alone. This is the beginning. So may the death come to pass, and may our resurrection be swift. All hail the new earth. All hail the new earth. And all hail you. I was going to give a which we do in Africa. And Egypt.
Yes, I'm in Morocco.
Oh,
I'm Moroccan.
Are you? Oh, they love that there as well, don't they? No, that's incredible, because I always get a lady behind me in Egypt and they let one out and I'm like, whoa. I'm so glad you enjoyed, Janine. I mean, that was just amazing. So this is how we're rolling. This is how we're rolling. You know, disintegrating, like, you know, the walls. I'm telling you now, when we're having that big fat tea party, we'll look at each other and we'll laugh and go, do you remember that Zoom call? Do you know what I mean? Where we were all separated. No longer, no longer, no longer. And anyway, I've started DJing now, so I'm going to invite you to a dance party next year. Just saying, you know, I envisage myself on the Nile bank. I've already sorted it out in my mind. I've chatted to Sekhmet, and I'm going to like bang out some sets in Egypt. So just saying, you can come and dance with me. Cacao and Blue Lotus. Are we up for it? Because you're all invited. Seed plant. So actually, just to involve everybody, okay? Some people like that haven't put their videos on. You don't have to, but as we're going around the room, one word to close the circle. So we'll start with how do I say your name? Booyah.
No. It's Numa.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
Numa? Oh my God. So do you remember I said this is amazing, because so many of you, even Kieran has to put Love Kieran now on YouTube. Otherwise, I have no idea who everybody is. Numa. Oh my God. Blessings. I'm so happy. So what word, Numa? Oh, where did she go? Huh? Oh, you're there. What happened there? Okay. So you flicked on my screen and you went over there. Sorry, 1 second. Yes. What would you like to say, my love?
Hello, Marie.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. I am Yayus. I am in Thailand.
Oh, divine. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. And your video channeling Joseph the Arimathea came in right in time this morning.
Okay.
Just in time. I actually on the same time I have another schedule, but I felt like Mother Segment is calling. And yeah. And just 2 hours before what you were channeling, we were wrapping up a sacred art workshop, and I was sharing with the group. And so I really resonate with your message about death that you were talking in your video because I got it, right? And so we were channeling different codes in the art that we did. And I was sharing with the group about like, okay, I felt resurrection, but I wasn't really wanting to carry the code of death because it's like, but then, yeah. But then what happened? The last 2 weeks, two of my friends got stroke, one of them crossed over.
Oh,
Yeah, so
sorry.
that energy, I was walking with them. One made it back, one crossover in light. And at the same time, I was holding this commitment to inner joy to the sacred art, and I was doing the art land, and then was led to ceremony. And then I was telling the group, it's like, oh, by the way, somebody was talking about the Earth Day, which was on the 22nd. I was saying that this is the 55th year anniversary. So it is about embodiment. And I remember in your channel, Mother Sam was talking about your embodiment. I'm like, okay.
I'm going hot
She,
again.
yeah. So she had thrown in all the keywords for us to weave it in together, right? Because we can
She's
all
like the best
surprise it.
SEO. Sekhmet is the best SEO. She just gets, like you have to put like certain words to get algorithms going. And that's kind of what she does. So she connects us all, you know?
Yeah.
That's incredible, hey? And I'm so
Yeah.
sorry for your grief walk because yeah, and I just want to acknowledge that for everybody. You know what I mean? It's hard, it's tough. And like you, I was like, no, I'm not doing the death thing. And they're like, right, there you go. Have 3 animals die on you all at the same time. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? And that's another thing, actually, just throwing it in the mix, just as I'm signing off now. I'm now talking. The animals. There's big things going on with the animals. Everybody I've spoken to, Julie and I were talking about it. Julie's here on the call, and she was saying how in her world so many animals have passed on, and and it was just like, yeah, there's a lot of animals that are just like, that are moving on. Makes sense, really. End of cycle. So they're going through it as well as we are as well. And I was actually going to do something to do with the familiars on videos as well, because I think that they need to be acknowledged. And but it's like whether you're two-legged or four-legged, it's like there's a big shift, isn't there? There's a big shift. And I think that grief is not something you can speed up. However, Sekhmet, I think, is very, very powerful and integral in helping us transmute it as best as possible. And I have to say, sitting in my grief, I've got many gifts because it's the last thing I want to be sitting in, and it's the last place I want to be. And now I surrender to sitting in it, all of these things, because grief slows you down, eh? It's just, and I think that that's what needed to happen for us channels. We just need to slow it all down a little bit, and and then away we go. So yeah, it's big. Yeah, no worries, guys. I know some of you are signing off. No problem. That's all right. Peace out. See you on the next one. And we will sign off here. So just a quick word from everybody. So yes, how do I say your name? Yayus.
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 Yes.
Yayus.
Yeah. Yayus.
Yayus. What's your word of the circle? What are we finishing on here?
Embody.
Of course. Of course. And Numa.
Shine.
Yeah, shine. Embody and shine. And Numa, what are you putting in the circle?
Well, I will join her and reinforce the embodiment. So let's embody.
Yes, I like that. Ellie from Newcastle.
So the embodiment, but golden heart. So the embodiment of the golden heart.
Oh, I like that. I like what you did there. Embodiment of the golden heart. Awesome. Loving it. Felt it. Thank you.
No
Kieran.
Wonderful to be part of a group. It's been so long since I've been part of a group. working on my own for such a long time, and meeting Marie and now all you guys, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh,
Do the things that scare you the most.
yeah,
Do the
absolutely.
things
So
that
we could
scare
say
you the
home.
most.
Maybe your word of the day is home. Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it, Kieran. Thank you so much. And now Ellie from Liverpool. Got to get everybody's logistics right.
Probably deep transformation, death,
Yeah.
death.
Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. What's my word going to be? And I'm yeah, celebrating grief. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Thank you. Debbie, what's your word?
Mine, like Kieran, my word is connection. I felt really connected today to everyone. I felt like this was really powerful and special. And
Oh,
I
I
hate
can't stop smiling.
to share in a group, but I felt really connected to all of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is so happy. I wish we could just hug. Okay. It'll happen. It's in the meditation. Michelle.
I feel inspired, even though I came in with grief, like we talked before, and it's like a death for me right now. But I'm leaving here inspired, you guys. Thank you so much.
And you're not very well, so lots of blessings for you. Speedy
Yeah, because
recovery, hey?
I'm going through all that, like I'm releasing all this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you've had your been so sick. Michelle's been so sick, and I've had a gastro, and then I've had this, and then I've had that. I'm literally
Mhm.
limping across the finish line. We all are. Do you know what I mean?
But we
But we
did it.
shall
We
not.
did it.
Yeah, we're not giving up. We keep on going. So thank
Hmm.
you, Michelle, for being here, because I know you're
Thank
not
you.
well, JD, I don't know whether that's your name, but that's what's coming up on the screen. Would you like to share with a word? If not, it's all good. Joshua. They might have gone to sleep, that could happen.
My word is call us to be on our own thrones, like the
Yeah.
one like, and yeah, to stand in our own fire and our fierceness of Sekhmet.
Yes. Fierceness. Yes. Beetle. Is that your name, Beetle?
Yes.
Is it? That's a cool name. I was like,
Thank you.
that's a very cool name. Hi, Beetle.
Hi. I guess mine is miracle because I feel like this is such a miraculous thing to have found myself in this space with you guys and the technology that we have to just find each other like this. It's
Yeah.
like it's wild. It's just
Yeah.
wild. Because I was
Absolutely.
like thinking about Sekhmet yesterday and then I like Googled it and I was looking at other things and then I found you. But I found Sekhmet because I see a sound healer and that came through for me in one of my journeys and I forgot about it. It was like a few weeks ago and then yesterday I was like the energy was so weird. I was like I had the energy was like the hair on my arms was standing up. I was like felt like I was like did I take drugs? Like what is happening today? It was crazy. And
Yeah.
then here I am now with you guys.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that Mother brought you here. So, well, most of us turn up here like that. First of all, it's party for
It's
one. I was
so
just here on my own.
crazy.
As you know, party for one, because I just switched my mic off and went off on my
That
own.
was brilliant. I want you to know that I was like I feel you so deeply, like such a move, such a baller move, something I would do.
Absolutely. I'm like, yeah, okay, bye.
Yeah,
So
no, it's great.
thank you for being
Phenomenal.
here and many more.
Thank
So the
you.
temple's always going to be rolling for this reason.
I'm here with
Hangouts.
you.
Bring your cacao.
Thank you.
Yes, brilliant. Love it. Julie. Is she there? Oh, she is. Because I know she's
I'm
in
here, yes.
deepest, darkest
My word is
Zimbabwe.
healing.
Healing. Yes.
Healing.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm just gonna like chuck all of that into the cauldron and I'm just gonna say celebration because I can't stop smiling and I've got achy cheeks, I'm just really, really happy because I like a good party, actually. And in all honesty, this is what this always is for me. So, I'm just really, really happy that like we're kind of like getting our tribe together. And it's never been just like a workshop thing for me. It's like I want to hang out, man. Because like all of us, we've been so lonely. We've just been like, keep up the good fight, just like find your people. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, no, it's not here, it's not there. And then all of a sudden it's just clicking in now, you know, and it's like the priest with a pimp limp, the priestess with a pimp limp. That's what I'm naming us. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got a good thing going on here. And I'm just really happy because this is the time for community and oneness and just hanging out. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. So, you know, more meetings on Zoom, but I'm telling you now, it's in the circle. We'll be able to connect physically very, very soon, I feel, you know? So, yes. So,
Marie,
yes.
will we get the video of this party?
Yes. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because the only thing, remember I was going on about sacred is secret. If we do a ceremony, if Sekhmet calls us, I'm going to record this. I'm going to upload this, no problem. So it will go onto YouTube. So you'll see the temple classrooms. It will just go on there, right? But when we do a ceremony, and I feel that it's kind of quite personal, I've got a very strong ethic where I don't agree with filming ceremonies. I don't agree with filming anything like that because it's sacred. Film the beginning, film the ending, because we're like, everybody's like, woo, but that bit in the middle is sacred. So if I ever feel that we are doing something where we're really opening up and it's a very personal thing, that will never be shared on a recording. You know, if you're meant to be there, you'll be there. And so I just want to reassure you as well that when certain things come in, I do have a filter. I'm going to be like, nope, I'm not going to share that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want you to worry that if something comes out on this, or even if you feel uncomfortable about something, I will know it because that will be when we're in ceremony and that's sacred. So those will be the times when I don't share that video. Other than that, when it's teachings like this and we're all happy to share, 100%. So I'll pop this on YouTube, if not tonight, tomorrow morning. So you'll be able to get the recording. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to start ramping it up now. Now I'm not traveling so much. So there'll be some live streams coming and things like that. Temple is always the last Thursday of every month. So, you know, we're going to be doing more Sekhmet stuff and things like that. So we'll see you on the next one. Tribe. Hey, fam. All right. Love you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Lots of love. Mwah. Big kisses to
Thank
you
you
all.
so much.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right. Chat to you
Thank you,
soon.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao.